Mai 2022, Muttertag in der Rheinaue. Und nicht nur da. Herzlich willkommen, liebe Baseballfreunde. Heute Spiel 2 zwischen unseren Gästen, den Berlin Flamingos und den Bonn Capitals. Wir sind ein bisschen spät dran. Der René durfte heute Traktor fahren und hat das ausgenutzt. Hat was länger gedauert. Geht aber trotzdem gleich los. Da vorne baut sich schon alles auf zur Play Conference. Das gibt mir die Gelegenheit, zuerst mal unsere Schiedsrichter heute zu begrüßen an der Homeplate. Ralf Kuring an der ersten Base, Dirk Roland.
Please. Thank you, Max, for turning that up. I appreciate it. So if you didn't catch that first part, welcome to Bonn Capitals Baseball here on Mother's Day. Warm welcome to all the mothers out there who are either watching or here in the park. It's lovely to have you, as always. Here we are here to watch Bonn Capitals versus the Berlin Flamingos, the second of two games that they are playing this weekend. Bonn won that first game 9-2 yesterday on the back of another Noah Lint fine performance. Pitched 5 innings with 7 strikeouts. Only 2 hits off of him with 1 earned run. He's looking really good in this season early on. So he pitched yesterday against Anibal Marquez Ramirez, and he's on the mound again today for pitch count. Not important.
No, actually, that's Anibal, you know. Hold on a second, I have to pick up my
phone call. Bonn's record here is a perfect 7-0 on the season. Berlin is 5-5 now, so much better than we saw last year, so they're really improving. Should be a good game today. Bonn has Zach Dodson on the hill. Berlin, as I said, countering with Anibal Marquez Ramirez. Let's get to those lineups as the umpires are out exchanging or talking about the ground rules for the game. The managers are out exchanging lineup cards. We'll start.
Yeah, this was an important phone call. It's about our supporter card holders. So we are very thankful. We have about 100 supporter card holders who support the Capitals financially, and they get their reserved seat for that.
Very good. Well, I'm glad that they're here. I'm glad for the support, and I know that all the Capitals are as well. Let's get to those lineups first for the Berlin Flamingos. They'll have Tim Wagner in the field. He's at first base, be followed by Gabriel Tovar-Colette. He's the left fielder. Jordan Bradley hitting third for the Flamingos. He's in right. Michael Akuzi is playing third base. Jeffrey Arndt in center. Joel Chongo Rivera is behind the plate. Phillip Thomas is the DH. Dennis Steele playing second. And rounding out the order is Patrice Kurzawa Rodriguez. He is the shortstop for the Berlin Flamingos. Looking ahead to the Bonn lineup, Eric Brank, Wilson Lee, the hot-hitting Wilson Lee. Lamb Hunt batting third. Sanchez, cleanup. Vinny Ernst hitting fifth. Followed by Lankhorst, Recchi, Vela, and Stummel today. So, we are in line to have a very good one today.
Did you mention the umpires? So we have the same crew as yesterday. So we have at home plate umpire Ralf Kuring. We have at first base Dirk Weiland. And at third base today, Ramon Weiss.
All right, Weiss. As I said, so the weather here in Bonn is very, very nice. Perfect conditions for baseball. 16 degrees, more or less, I guess. The clouds are still with us, but every once in a while that sun is peeking through, and I think probably before the end of the game we're going to get lots of sun, which hopefully won't play too much havoc with the players on the field. And Angela, the one thing I noticed going through some of these averages was Wilson Lee's average. He's certainly doing well early on this season after even missing the first game or so.
Yeah, he had especially a big day last week in Doren, where he had 7 hits, 3 home runs, 12 RBI.
That's a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it fun? Was it something like 29-3?
So that increased his average quite a bit. So he had. I mean, but there were others with big games like Eric Brank and who else? Daniel Sanchez.
I would imagine a score that high, everybody seemed to have a pretty good game.
Most of them, yeah.
On Bonn, at least. One thing I forgot to mention is that Zach Dodson's on the hill for the Capitals, and he's got a 3-0 record this season with 16 just over 16 innings pitched, 16 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned runs, 9 walks, 27 strikeouts. So it should be a good pitching match as well.
So we have 2 lefties again, like yesterday Noah Lind and Enno Bell. Today we have Zach Dodson and Enno Bell, 2 lefties.
Yeah, and this should create an interesting dynamic as well. If you're thinking, you're at home and you're thinking, you know, whether you should come out to the game. Of course, we're happy to have you watching, but if you can come out, try and do so. Already the stands are filling up fast, but it is going to be a lovely day for baseball. And of course, we've got all the amenities, all the food you need, all the merch, lots on sale below us as well, as Dodson finishes up his warm-up pitches, and it looks like we're about ready to go as the home plate umpire, Kooring, cleans off the plate. It's a great day for some baseball. We've even got some baseball beside us, Angela.
Yeah, we have I think the juniors playing there, the Bonn Capitals juniors.
All right, so stepping up to the plate for the visiting Flamingos is Tim Wagner.
No, this is Berlin Flamingos.
I said Berlin.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But this is not Tim Wagner. Something is wrong here, because Tim Wagner looks different. I mean, this is what we heard on the lineup card, of course.
Okay, so Kurosawa
Rodriguez, yeah,
is batting first. Some fun with lineups. What we do know is that it's a 1-1 count. And that's all that we know thus far. High.
So it will be interesting what then the lineup is finally, because our lineup card says that Kurosawa Rodriguez is batting ninth. So
and a hit out to right field. Wilson Lee goes back step or two, grabs it easily, and 1 down. What we also know is that batter number 1 is out. Now it's Wagner. So move the number 9, previous number 9, up to number 1. That was Rodriguez. And now Wagner is second at the plate. Comes in for a strike. Wagner's hitting 174 in the season.
Swings and a miss.
Yesterday's game, he didn't do too much. 3 at-bats, no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk. Dodson sets. 1-2 delivery. And that's low. 2-2. Wilson Lee shifting over in right field. And he had him fooled on that one. And he strikes out Wagner. That's 2 down. Tova Corlett is, at least from on the lineup card, is in left field today, hitting 111. Oh, and 1 the count, 2 out, no score here in Bonn. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there. To the fans in their seats. Lawn chairs out. Padded seat cushions. I should grab 3 or 4 of those myself. And he fools him again. Zach Dodson looking good early on in the game. And that is 3 up and 3 down. And we'll be right back here on CapsTV. The Flamingos and the Capitals. And we have a bit of a pitching change already. Earlier we had mentioned that Marquez was on the mound for the Flamingos. That is not the case any longer. As I said, there's been some fiddling with the lineup cards, and from what we understand, Jordan Bradley is on the mound for the Flamingos, and at bat for the Caps is Eric Brank, batting .294 on the season.
Including the game yesterday.
Including
so
the
our
game
stats
yesterday.
in the stream show the stats before yesterday's game.
So Eric Brank at the plate, on deck Wilson Lee, swing and a miss there, and following him in the hole will be Daniel M. Hunt. 1-2 is the count. Wind blowing out to center field. Bradley, 1-0 last. I believe his record is 1-0 in the year. Yes, that is the case. Foul back. It shows here he has a 3 ERA. He's pitched 6 innings, 4 strikeouts. So he hasn't pitched too much yet this year.
But actually, he's new to Berlin, and I think it's a good guy that they got. I mean, he's a very good hitter, and
out to short.
He can pitch.
And a wild throw to first, and Brank is safe at first. That was not even close, Angela.
No. That was more to the pitcher. Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. So that was Kurosawa Rodriguez, who is the shortstop on the other team. So it's Sunday. Maybe it takes a while to get warmed up. I know it does for me. That will bring up, as we were mentioning earlier, the hot-hitting Wilson Lee. Lee, 565 average. That gives an indication. And a swing and a miss on that. Yeah, I think the idea with these lineups was, how can we mess with the people up in the booth the best that we can?
Now, they probably wanted to show the Bonn Capitals, okay, Annabelle is pitching again, so
yeah.
Go see that you see Annabelle again and whatever.
That's probably more of an explanation than trying to mess with us in the booth. But we shall see. Oh, so Brank takes his lead at first, a throw over and dives back safely. It's hard to know how to dress this morning. It was still a little bit chilly from last night, but and there he goes. Brank does, and no throw. Goes unchallenged into second. Was saying the weather is a bit tricky. Wasn't sure if it was going to be cool or warm.
Yeah,
and
Eric,
you can't trust these weather apps.
No. But the steal of Eric, I mean, he had an interesting steal yesterday. He was had a steal from 2 to 3, while he was kind of jogging there because the pitcher was not looking at him, and so he jogged from 2 to 3.
And a chop one through into left field. Brank stops at third. Wilson Lee continues his hot streak. Runners on the corner now
he
for
holds
Bonn.
him?
That was a nice single, right?
I thought he sends him. No, he didn't.
No, didn't send him. So hit it through shortstop and third base. Very clean, nice looking single. Runners on the corner, as I said, for Daniel Lamb Hunt, who's batting .280 on the season. Lamb's only got 5 strikeouts on the season. 6 RBIs. No home runs yet, though.
Yeah, he's still waiting for his first home run of the season.
Big hit into center field, though. And the
Let's
runner
see.
fielder
Maybe
goes
this
back, and he's got it. A nice catch in center field, but tagging from third is Brank. And the Capitals draw first blood as Brank scores. That was a very good hit out into center, but the center fielder was playing rather deep. So that's Jeffrey Arndt out there for the Flamingos. That brings up Sanchez, also hitting great this year, .391 hitter with his pink socks on today to mark Mother's Day. And again, as we said at the top, congratulations and nice welcome to all the mothers out there. And another single into left field. That's a couple of them now. As Wilson Lee moves up to second, and he bobbles it in left, and the throw into third, not in time. As Wilson Lee noticed that bobble out in left and moves to third. And Sanchez is at second. So good heads-up running by Wilson Lee. So Sanchez at second and Lee at third. That brings up Vinny Arns. 290 hitter.
Yeah, Vincent is struggling a little bit. He had a very good first weekend of the season, and then he was struggling a little bit. Yesterday he had 2 hits, so it was quite good.
No score here. Oh, sorry, 1-0 is the score here at the bottom of the first inning here in Bonn. Runners take their lead. Sanchez, pretty good lead at second. And he just nicked that one. 0-2 is the count. Jordan Bradley on the hill for the Flamingos. Zach Dodson had a pretty quick top of the first inning. 3 up, 3 down. Vinny Arns at the plate here. An off-speed pitch. Comes in for a ball. I believe the pitcher Bradley Jordan is an American.
Yes.
And he swings and misses, and that'll do it for Vinny Arns. And that's 2 down now in the inning, bringing up Lankhorst. So Sanchez still at second, and Wilson Lee still at third. Right-handed hitter Lankhorst. Hitting .375, not too shabby. 6 RBIs on the season, 6 hits.
Yesterday he had a wonderful bunt. I mean, he was safe after the bunt. Everybody was safe after that bunt.
Bit of a lost art these days. Certainly remember, I think it was the CapsTV where the score is 1-0 in favor of the Capitals over the Flamingos. Your batter is Michael Akuzi. Again, we're just trying to sort out these lineups as it seems the wrong, or it was changed after it was submitted to us. So playing a bit of catch up on this. And what we do know about Akuzi is that he is a .361 hitter after yesterday's game. 9 strikeouts on the season though. So takes a strike there. 2-1 is the count. He has 8 hits in 36 at-bats. And a pop-up into, as center fielder comes over as well. But Wilson Lee had no problem grabbing that one. Some good backup,
lost
though.
His cap.
So
there you can see how fast Danny Lankhorst is.
He
He's
sure is.
losing his head. So
especially with those pink socks he's got on today. Look like the Pink Panther out there.
You mean makes him even faster?
Exactly. Well, it's easier to see. That was quite the curve.
A little low, but strike.
Yeah. Batter didn't like it. And, of course, the batter is Joel Chongo Rivera. And a second on to first. And a quick 1-2. And that will bring up, always a surprise to us, who's coming up next in this game.
Let's see. It's Jeffrey Arndt.
All right. So 2 down. Jeffrey Arndt, .275 hitter. Again, after yesterday's games, these might not correlate with what's on the screen, but just sort of catching up with the stats from yesterday's game. So he's got 15 strikeouts on the season. That's an interesting stat. It's probably looking, obviously, to lower that. He's got no home runs, 4 RBIs. Zach Dodson looking good already this inning. Or this game as well. And a foul. 0-2 is the count. And a chopper to third. That looks like it bounced on the line, but apparently it did not. It was foul. So we'll do that one over again. Picks up his bat, steps back into the box. Dodson resumes his position. Lots of kids here at the game today as well.
Yeah, there's nothing better on a sunny Sunday morning, midday. Go out to the ballpark.
Love it.
Have a burger.
Lots of people out here last night, Angela?
Yes. I mean, actually, we have our
swing and a miss, and that'll do it. We'll have to pick this up next inning, I guess. So the score is 1-0 for the Capitals over the Flamingos. We'll be right back on CapsTV. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Bonn, where the score is 1-0 Capitals over the Flamingos. We go into the bottom of the second inning, and at the plate is Justice Recchi, hitting 100 on the season. That's an average of 100. He's struck out 3 times, 1 RBI, 1 walk. Looking to start getting hot on the season. Jordan Bradley on the hill still for the Flamingos, as that comes in high. So far, the only game we have going on around the league right now, as it's popped up high. I see yesterday, just to go over some of the scores, in addition to Bonn beating Berlin 9-2 yesterday, Heidenheim beat Tübingen 10-3 yesterday.
And 5-3 as in the
And
second game,
5-3.
right? Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
very tight game for Heidenheim against Tübingen, so that amazing score. So
And I was going to mention this a little bit later. They're not having the start of the season that I think they expected to have, Heidenheim.
No, they had already 3 losses. This is what they normally have had at the end of a season, you know. So in their first 3 game days, came weekends, they split only. So
Yeah.
I mean, they had a double win last weekend against Mainz, which was good.
Yeah. And as we see time called here on the field, 2-2 count. Lost to Stuttgart. 7-5 is the score there. Mannheim lost to Ha, 6-2. That pitch comes in low, full count here. Let's look at a few more of those scores. Hamburg beat Köln 5-3. Dortmund over Dorn 1-0. And in that first game, as Angela mentioned, Heidenheim beat Tübingen 5-3. And Recchi gets a walk, finds himself on first base. So the leadoff man is on for Bonn, a good sign if you're a Bonn fan.
Yeah, yesterday, the results yesterday, I mean, that Dortmund has beaten Doran twice. So that shows how weak Doran this season is, you know. I mean...
Very, very weak.
Yeah, this is amazing because normally they are playoff candidates, so...
Right. So it might be an opening for the Capitals. Some promising signs early on in the season with respect to what things may look like eventually. That's a foul, according to the umpire, who rolls up to the pitcher. And Recchi goes back to first base. 0-1 the count. What else? Regensburg beat Mainz 9-1.
Yeah, Regensburg pretty strong from the beginning. I mean, they lost one of the first 2 games, but after that, they won all their games.
Big score. Ha beat Mannheim 13-3 in the first game yesterday. And the umpire calls that one a strike. 0-2. Recchi on first base. Nobody out. He was there. He got there on a walk. Landfella at the plate. Throw back. And it gets past first baseman. And Recchi goes down to second. And he pushes the second baseman out of the way as the ball is thrown around.
And the umpire...
And he sends him to third.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. So the second baseman was sort of just standing, not even at second base. And he was in the runner's way. So the umpire rightfully sends him down to third. Some discussion now as to what happened. But really, that is the right call. You can't stand in the runner's line. So lucky break for Bonn. That overthrow cost 2 bases. As now Bradley tries to organize the field for the hitter, who remains Landfella. Leonard Vella, sorry. I always make that mistake. 1-2. Big hit into left field, but is it enough? Doesn't look like it. Caught and tagging from third. Throw on its way home, but not even close. As Recchi scores, and the score now is 2-0 for the Capitals. So an RBI on that flyout for Vella. And that'll bring up Eddie Stummel. Eddie Stummel, 375, hitting very well early on this season. 6 hits, 16 at-bats. And that pitch sails over the catcher. That sun's out now. things are warming up, as they are for the Bonn Capitals here in this game. And that comes in for a strike. 1 out on that fly ball. RBI into left field. Comes in low. 3-1. So Schummel, the number 9 hitter, it'll flip the order over to Brink, and if we get to him, Lee and Daniel M. Hunt. And that's strike. Full count now. And he loses another one on a walk, so Eddie Stummel goes down to first base. Flipping the order over to Eric Brink, who reached on an overthrow by the shortstop in the first inning. So already one walk has come around to a score on Bradley Jordan. And he's got another one at first base. With that hit, Eric Brink now hitting .314 on the season. And down to third base. Third baseman grabs it. On to second. No chance. Drops the ball, but the umpire says he's transferring it into his hand, and so still out at second base. Not enough to get on to first. So Brink is on first base. Lee comes to bat with 2 out. Wilson Lee, a single, his first at bat. And he's running already on that throw. Throw down, and he is. He dropped the ball, and he's safe. Brink's safe at second. And if he didn't drop the ball, that would have been a close call. He had a good jump, but it was a very nice throw down, right on the money. Regardless, Eric Brink, second base. And an 0-1 count on Wilson Lee. So fans start to get into it. Ooh, a big swing, and he was right on that one. It looked like he moved his head as he was hitting, and that just was enough to just not get entirely all of it. But boy, he took a good swing in there. Brink takes a sizable lead at second. That pitcher looks him back. Not much happening. He wasn't going. That pitch, it looked pretty good, but the umpire calls it a ball. Wind blowing out now to center left. You get one up there. Might carry it a bit. That's in the dirt. 2-2. 2-2, 2 out, bottom of the second inning. 2-0 is the score. A plethora of twos. Swing and a miss. He strikes him out, and that'll end the inning. Bonn, however, gets 1 run off that 1 of 2 walks. And we will be right back here on CapsTV, where the score is 2-0 in favor of the Capitals.
Dein Sport, dein Team, überall live. Fußball, Eishockey, Basketball, alle Spiele live. Jetzt auf magentasport.de buchen.
Das ist Mia. Mia hat zu Hause einen richtig schönen Designboden, der aber auch leider oberflächige Schäden und tiefe Kratzer aufweist. Dr. Schutz hat dafür die Lösung mit Produkten für die Reinigung und Pflege, wie das Designboden-Pflegeset und um tiefe Kratzer zu beseitigen, das Scratch Fix Repair Set. Und damit Mia genau weiß, wie man ihre Böden zu Hause perfekt pflegt und schützt, gibt es unsere Tutorials auf dem Dr. Schutz YouTube-Channel. Für Mia und euch alle. Damit muss sich Mia nicht mehr um ihre Böden sorgen, sondern kann ganz beruhigt unsere Caps anfeuern. Go Caps!
Welcome back to Bonn, where Tovar Kolet is at the plate, which is a surprise to us as anybody as he takes a swing because we had announced him earlier on as batter number 3, but he's not batter number 3 because they gave us the wrong lineup. We will get this straight. He is number 90, and he is on the year hitting 111. And a hit into right field. Is that going to drop? It does, right in front of Wilson Lee. Tovar Kolet is on first. Runner on. We've got ourselves a ball game here, folks. This is good. Both leadoff runners on in both of this last two sides of these innings.
So let's see who is hitting next.
It's a surprise.
This is Phillip Thomas.
Phillip Thomas hitting .250 on the season. As I look at my lineup card and weep, or scorecard. Takes his lead at first base. Kolet does. That comes in for a strike. 1-1 is the count. Zach Dodson's pitched 2 innings so far. No earned runs, but 3 strikeouts. No walks. Frustrated now that is 1 on and didn't quite get the call. Yeah, chopper foul. 3-2. Kolet takes 2 or 3 steps off first. Dodson delivers. Another foul into the trees. Surprised those trees have any leaves left at the end of the year.
Yeah, they will.
Well, at the end of the baseball season, I should say. Of course, they have none by the end of the year. Grew up on a farm, I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah, I should know these
So
things.
you're a farmer.
Indeed. Dairy farm. And he loses them to a walk. So that's Dodson's first walk of the game. Kolet down to second.
No outs.
That's right. And Thomas is at first. And that is Eric Ortiz.
This is... Yeah.
Eric Ortiz. He's playing second base today. So, nobody out. Runners on first and second for the Flamingos. Steps around to shows bunt. No bunt, but gets a strike. That's right, Angela. I was born on a farm, and I had my own baseball field out behind the house.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you played with yourself? Baseball, of course.
Baseball, yes. Yes. Finally put.
I don't know what you guys are always thinking.
Strike number 2. Bunting may not be the
you
Flamingos'
played all
forte.
on your own baseball.
I played.
So you were the hitter and the catcher.
Yeah.
No?
So to speak. So farming.
Okay, so you grow your own vegetables.
Indeed. Yet another tried bunt. And that one No, that's foul. So that's it. You know, it never fails to surprise me how many people in this league bunt on 2 strikes, but this seems to be the new thing. And so he's out. Listen, I mean, and I do make a joke out of it, but when I was going through, you never would think of bunting on 2 strikes.
No.
Ever.
You should not.
Okay, so that's still
It's still
a
the
good
case.
idea. Okay. I'm not quite that old.
So here we are top of the lineup, right? Top of this new lineup. As far as I can see.
Yeah.
Kurzawa.
The umpire is probably looking down at the dugout going, who's this guy now?
Kurzawa.
Yeah. He's probably as confused as we are. All right. So what we do know is there's 1 out, 2 on. Dodson delivers to Kurzawa. That's a strike. Chopper down to shortstop, on to second base. That's 1, on to first, and he's safe. He's safe. It was a close call down to first base, so the runner stays on third. He does not come home. 2 out now in the inning. I'll bring up Tim Wagner. So Kurzawa legs it out. Runners on the corner for the Flamingos. Can Dodson get out of this one? Almost had it by about a step. So Wagner is 0-1 in today's game. Batting 167. That comes in for a strike. Big lead by Kurzawa down at first base. Sharp foul almost into the Flamingos dugout. I saw another Blue Jays hat here today. Angela, I was very impressed to see that, very happy.
Good for you. I see more green and yellow hats.
Yes, that's a good thing. Good thing, and they are for sale, by the way.
Might be because we are in the Capitals ballpark.
Yes, but I'm always thinking of my beloved Blue Jays, who split a doubleheader yesterday against the Guardians.
Our fan Christoph is a Blue Jay fan, so
good people, good people. And that's a strikeout, and that'll end the inning. Dodson does get out of it, leaves 2 on, and as we head to the bottom of the third, 2-0 is the score for the Capitals over the Flamingos. Be followed by Sanchez and Vinny Arons. And if they get to him, Lankhorst. That ball's in the dirt. You know, one thing I was looking at before the game, I was looking at the team averages. So both teams almost have the same amount of hits on the season.
Oh, yeah?
Somewhat. But the team averages, the batting averages, are quite different. 350 for the Capitals and 243 for the Flamingos. So an interesting tidbit there, I think. Capitals always a very good hitting team. But the Flamingos really have come along from last year. Remember at the early on in the season last year, Angela,
they're
it's
doing
just a different story.
Yeah, they are doing pretty good. You can see the difference since Enobel took over the beginning of the season. He is the playing coach, and he obviously brought some, not only some experience, but some new drive to the team. So, and they have some new players. So
Yeah, and it's good to see. I played out in Berlin when I was there for a while, and the baseball scene isn't quite as advanced as it is here, but it's good. It's great to have competitive teams, as Lamb Hunt grounds out and the pitcher almost runs it right back to first base, underhands it to the first baseman. They have pretty good facilities there. They've got, the fan base is growing, I think. So, yeah, it's good. It's a long way to travel. But a nice weekend to come out to Bonn, and of course it looks like the weather is going to be continuing for a little while yet, So it looks like we're in for some good baseball as we lead to the Champions Cup, Angela. And I know you're looking forward to that, as everybody is.
Yeah, we're in the middle of preparations for that.
Where can fans go for tickets again?
Yeah, actually, for the day tickets, you just come and come in and pay your fee. But for the tournament tickets, you can order them at ticket@capitals.de.
Capitals DE and
ticket@capitals.de.
.de as we Sanchez grounds out to second base. That's 2 down in the inning now.
There you can order your tournament ticket and then you get information about how it's going.
Excellent.
But you can also look at our website, capitals.de.
Yes, and should be
There.
looking at that anyway. Lots of good stuff on there.
Actually, the game schedule is out, so it's on our website. You can see who's playing when.
Vinny Aaron's at the plate. Who's your favorite to win this year? I mean, not who you want to win. Who I mean, we know that. But who's the hot team?
I think that San Marino from Italy, if they're playing in the Italian league, is probably hot.
And a fly ball into over the left fielder's head, and that's off the wall. Center fielder throws it back, and it looks like he's in for a
nice double.
Very nice, very nice. Had thoughts of third, but it was so sharply hit, it came off that wall rather quickly, and the center fielder throws it back in. Very nice hit. I'll bring up Lancost. Danny Lancost batting .353 on the season, 6 RBIs. Maybe looking at a 7th, hoping for a 7th. We all want one. Some nice flashes of pink here by the Bonn Capitals on Mother's Day.
Yeah, Danny's mother is working here in our catering booth today, so that's
Very
her
nice.
Mother's Day.
As I look ahead of me at a rose that is in front of me, and that's yours, Angela.
Yes, I got that this morning at my church.
Very nice. Big lead at second for Aarons. I'm still trying to determine if this is Mother's Day in Canada, and I better figure it out quickly before they wake up and don't have a message from me. Because I know Mother's Day seems to be different times in different places.
Yeah, but you can still do it because you are in Germany and today is Mother's Day.
I don't want to overdo it, you know what I mean? One is enough.
Do it once a year.
Hope she's not listening. All right. Very sharp hit down to third. He steps on the base, but it's not a forced play, but he does tag Aarons out, and that'll end the inning before I talk too much more and get myself in hot water with my mother. 2-0 the score as we head to the top of the 4th here in Bonn. We'll be right back on CapsTV.
What position?
Welcome back to Bonn. Welcome back to Bonn, where the score is 2-0 here in the top of the fourth inning. Jordan Bradley is the pitcher and the hitter. Zach Dodson on the hill. Number 3 fires it in there, but a ball. Bradley is 400 hitter on the season. As we were mentioning earlier, he is from the United States of America. Dodson sets. 1-1 delivery. Big curve. Big chopper down to second. Stumble fires it on to first base, and he's out. Nice play there. Had to be a little patient.
Hätte ich jetzt machen können.
And
No, we are discussing here our new setup, what we have for our live stream, because we are using a different software now.
do tell.
Where we can always also show replays.
Oh, that's excellent,
But we
actually.
still need to get used to it a little bit, so.
Yeah. Well, it is quite a good system, I think, my opinion, up here. Oh, and an inside pitch. He hits into left field, bounces in front of the left fielder, Recchi. And Akuzi, Michael, finds himself first base.
I cannot tell you who this is.
Django Rivera, according to what I have in front of me, is the batter. And wearing number 91. He is 0-1 on today's game.
He's not on my lineup card.
Akuzi's on first base. It's like cereal with the prize inside. It's, different every time. Another inside pitch. Top of the fourth, 1 out, 2-0 Bonn. Dodson still on the hill. He's pitched 3 innings now. No earned runs, 5 strikeouts and 1 walk. Kuzi looks like he wants to go. Foul back our way. 0-2, or 1-2. They haven't had many base runners, Flamingos. So if they can get a runner to second, that obviously would be ideal for them. Looks like he's chomping at the bit down there at first, Dodson. Southpaw, eyes him back. Big curve, but outside. 2-2. One out, top of the fourth. And it chops in front of the mound, throws it on to second, but throws it past second.
That was bad.
It wasn't
Up
handled
there.
well, that's for sure. And I was wondering, actually, if that was a foul ball, but the umpire said it was fair. Just a little chopper out in front of the plate. So runners on the corner with only 1 out. That'll bring up, according to what I have, Tovar Colette. Yeah. All right, Jeffrey Arndt, sorry. That's the player I have missing from this lineup.
Yeah, this is Jeffrey Arndt.
And into right field, Wilson Lee grabs it. Tagging from home, the throw in is not, it's on the line, but the runner is safe. So, Flamingos score. Score is now 2-1 on that fly out to right field. At first, that throw looked to be a bit off, but it was closer than it first appeared. Regardless, scored.
But still, their lineup is still mixed up, because when this is Jeffrey Arndt, and last time before him we had Artskui, but this time we had Kurzawa or whoever. I don't know. And so it's completely mixed up. Sorry, guys out there.
Yeah,
but
this really isn't our
we
fault, believe
we have
me.
a lineup card that is not worth the paper it's on. So.
And back to Dodson. Throws it on to first, and that'll end the inning, but not before Flamingos score 1 run to make it 2-1. We'll be right back on Caps TV.
Weiter geht's in der unteren Hälfte 4. Hälfte 4, die Caps im Angriff. Erster Schlag mit der Nummer 13, Leftfielder Justus Ricky.
Welcome back to Bonn, where the score is 2-1 for the Capitals over the Flamingos. And in a day of scorecard fun, we do know that the pitcher for the Flamingos remains the same, and that's Bradley. At the plate, the other thing we know is that it's Justus Recchi. And he, today, got on with a walk and eventually came around to score. What we also know, of course, is that it is a very nice day for baseball. Second of 2 games as pitcher takes his sweet time trying to get the ball to the plate, and Recchi calls for time. Three and 1 is the count. Nobody out. 2-1 is the score, and bottom of the 4th. And for the second time today, Recchi goes down to first. So lead off. Man is on. That came around to haunt the Flamingos a couple innings ago. Let's see if that comes the same result this one. Leonard Vela at the plate. .118 average. And he's going, swings and misses, throw down, and the shortstop dives. Wow, that was an interesting play. He's out. So the shortstop dove across. It looked like he had the ball. However, the second baseman had the ball, sort of hidden away.
Yeah, and then Recchi thought he can go on, and then he was not back early enough. So
very interesting. I don't think any of that was intentional, but it sure looked good. Very interesting.
Recchi should have stayed on the base. Then
he should have stayed on the yeah, until you know where the ball is, stay where you are. But easy to be fooled. I mean, I was fooled up here just watching that. And Recchi had his back turned to it. So, regardless, Recchi is no longer at second base on that attempted steal. But Vela still at the plate. 0-2 count. Not, yeah, as I said, not exactly the hidden ball trick, but it had that effect. And through for a single. Vela is on first. And so, indeed, for the Capitals, it would have been helpful, of course, to have Recchi still there, but is not. Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Hätte, Fahrradkette.
Ja, genau.
Yeah. That's the German saying in that situation.
I know all the idioms.
In German,
Ja.
of course.
Stumble at the plate.
Natürlich.
Throwback, nothing doing. So Chungo Rivera behind the plate for the Flamingos. He's got quite an arm. I think Bonn would be well advised to keep an eye on that or take it into consideration. I've seen a couple strong throws down. Vela at first. Not going. 1-1 is the count. Stone at the plate. Eric Brink, number 1 hitter, is behind him, followed by Wilson Lee. Big hit into center field. The center fielder camps under it. He's got it. That'll be 2 out now, as Vela goes back to first. And as we said, they'll flip the order over to Eric Brink. Flamingos scored 1 in the top of the 4th. Bonn scored their 2 runs in the bottom of the 1st and 2nd, respectively. Two out, 2-1 the score. Bottom of the 4th. Throw back. Veller's back. Getting that uniform nice and dirty early on.
Yeah, it's worthwhile.
Always makes you feel good at the end of the game if you got a dirty uniform.
I was out to work. This is what they say at home.
That's right. My uniform when I played was always very clean.
And it stayed though. It remained clean.
Clean. The bench, you don't get dirty on the bench. That's a strike. 2-1. And inside, 3-1 is the count. Bonn 5 hits in today's game. Flamingos 2. Flamingos have 2 errors and Bonn has 1. And a single between center field and left. Sveller legs it to third. The throw, he is safe. That was close. But he's in there. So, nice double for Eric Brink. That'll bring up Wilson Lee. With 2 out. See if the Capitals can capitalize on it this time.
Oh, my favorite word. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Yes, I know you love that. Wilson Lee, I do believe, he struck out in his last at-bat with 2 runners on. So we'll see if he can change that around this time. Runners are Stummel and Brink. And a nice, sharply hit ball, but just foul on the left-hand side of the field. Try not to hit your own player down there on third, please, Mr. Lee. Fans want some action. Delivery. That's a ball. 1-1. Not a bad looking pitch. We'll take it. Yellow shoes Pink wristbands. Wilson Lee steps in. Big hitting. He's right on those balls and just can't square one up. I'll tell you, when he does, that ball's going a long way. Will it happen next? Two on, two out. 2-1 the score. Big hit. Down to the shortstop. On to first. He's got it, and that's 3 out. So Wilson Lee for the second time leaves 2 on. The score as we head into the top of the 5th is 2-1. We'll be right back on CapsTV.
Und wir sagen Danke an die Sparkasse Bonn, die Bauhaus GmbH, die Firma Tam, Feinkost Discher, Markus Wolf Förderprogramme, die Bäckerei Vogt und an die VR-Bank Bonn.
And the scorecard roulette continues for the Flamingos. Now, instead of Colette, we have Phillip Thomas coming up. So Phillip Thomas, number 33, is batting as that pitch comes in low from Zach Dodson, who remains on the hill for the Capitals. Bonn threatened earlier in last inning and left 2 on. That comes in for a strike. And what we are confused with up here, and what maybe the frustration comes through, is that it seems that different hitters are coming up at different times, and we're not sure if that's been raised with the umpire at all, but we will find out as that goes to Eddie Stummel. He throws it on first for the first out. So we had Jordan Bradley hitting and then not hitting. He was in the lineup, wasn't in the lineup. Colette seems to be in a different place as well. So now we have Eric Ortiz coming to the plate. He's hitting 100, wearing number 52. So it's a bit all over the place, and it's not. Yes, it matters if we're confused up here. It matters, but what's more concerning is how does this impact the game, and we'll find out. Obviously, after the game, what has been happening.
The question is if somebody notices.
If somebody notices
from the
this.
scorers or whoever.
Indeed. Foul there, 0-2. So we'll continue to try and keep up the best we can up here. Oh, 2 the count on Ortiz. That pitch is inside, 1-2. The umpire calls time. Swing and a miss. Catcher drops the ball, throws it on to first, completes the strikeout, so 2 out. Top of the order, Patrice Kurosawa at the plate with 2 out. Turns the bunt on 2 outs, which I'm not sure if that's the greatest strategy with 2 out to bunt. Wearing number 4, Kurosawa. Yep, top of the lineup. And he wants to bunt again. On an 0-1 count with 2 out. Comes in for a strike. Make that 0-2. Now, if he turns to bunt here, I will be thoroughly confused. He doesn't. Swings and misses and strikes out anyway. So, 1-2-3 inning for Zach Dodson. It is going into the bottom of the 5th inning, 2-1.
Dein Team. Überall live. Fußball, Eishockey, Basketball. Alle Spiele live. Jetzt auf magentasport.de buchen.
Das ist Mia. Mia hat zu Hause einen richtig schönen Designboden, der aber auch leider oberflächige Schäden und tiefe Kratzer aufweist. Dr. Schutz hat dafür die Lösung mit Produkten für die Reinigung und Pflege, wie das Designboden-Pflegeset und um tiefe Kratzer zu beseitigen, das Scratch Fix Repair Set. Und damit Mia genau weiß, wie man ihre Böden zu Hause perfekt pflegt und schützt, gibt es unsere Tutorials auf dem Dr. Schutz YouTube-Channel. Für Mia und euch alle. Damit muss sich Mia nicht mehr um ihre Böden sorgen, sondern kann ganz beruhigt unsere Caps anfeuern. Go Caps!
Welcome back to Bonn, where the score is 2-1. Capitals over the Flamingos, and Daniel Lamb Hunt comes to the plate against Jordan Bradley, who's still on the hill for the Flamingos. Bradley Jordan today's pitched 4 innings, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Delivery to Lamb Hunt is outside. 1-0 count. Lamb Hunt has an RBI today's game. That pitch comes in high. It was his fly out to center field that eventually scored Brink, who had walked in the first inning. And another hit into center field. Center fielder goes back. It's over his head and to the wall. Lamb Hunt rounds first, heads for second. And he will stop in at second with a very nice looking double. So, Capitals have something going here on the bottom of the 5th. On that double from Lamb Hunt, bringing Sanchez to the plate. Center fielder looked like he had a line on it, but it was apparent quickly that he wasn't keeping up with it and went all the way to the wall. Sanchez batting .400 on the season. That pitch is outside. Lamb Hunt getting a very nice lead at second. Fans clapping. They want some more runs. It's a very slim 2-1 game here. As it fouls back into the game next to us. One count. Delivery and a hit into right field. Right fielder hardly has to move. Lamb Hunt stands at second, thinking of tagging but doesn't. Ball comes in just a bit off third baseline. 1 out. Vinny Aarons comes to the plate. He had a double in his last at-bat in the 3rd inning.
He could hit one out of the park.
Very possible.
This is what he did at the first weekend, on the first weekend.
Be a very nice Mother's Day gift. Stands are full now, fans. Nice to see. Maybe they came a little later this morning, Angela. They're making breakfast for their moms.
Probably.
Wind blowing straight out. 1 down, 1 runner at second. That's Daniel Lamb Hunt. Aaron's at the plate. Chopper down to second base. On to first, and that is 2 out as Lamb Hunt goes to third. So he advances the runner. Aaron's does. And that'll bring up Lankost.
Und Centerfielder Danny Lankost, der nächste Anschlag.
So, a runner at third, 2 down. Delivery inside. Lamb Hunt not far off third base, knowing the arm of the catcher, Jungle Rivera. And looks like a single into left field, and Lamb Hunt comes in to score. Lankhorst with a very nice single to drive in that run. 3-1 now the score for the Capitals over the Flamingos.
We have a new hitter now, so Ricardo Migliore is in.
Thank you, Angela. Ricardo Migliore comes in with Lankhorst at first, 2 down, 3-1 the score. Lankhorst takes his lead as Jordan Bradley delivers a ball. 1-0's count. There we go. The scoreboard has been updated here. I was wondering if they didn't want to give us another run. And the delivery. And that's also high and inside. 2-0. Much needed run by the Capitals in what has been a very tight game so far. We are in the bottom of the fifth. A ways to go, yeah, but if it continues like this, we're in for a good one. Good ending. Comes in for a strike. Bonn looking to add to the score. The runner on first, 2 out. Swing and a miss. They'll make it a full count. So Migliore comes into the game.
Hitting pretty well this
Hitting
season.
very well this season, yeah. And the runner goes. Foul. Has some more leaves get trimmed from the trees here at the park.
Bring the balls back. That's important.
That's right. Don't forget, get those cards, kids. You get a free ice cream if you get a certain amount. 2 out, high pop up, and I think that's coming back our way.
Here,
and 3,
into
2,
the
1.
grill, into the grill.
Oh, I heard no landing.
It's on the grill now.
I think it landed on a bun.
Yeah.
Get your baseball burger here at the park. Charbroiled with the Louisville Slugger logo. And another foul back. Migliore hanging in there. Three won the score. Bonn scoring a run here in the bottom of the fifth. 3-2 full count delivery, and it is a walk. He loses them on a walk. So Bonn with 2 out has runners at first and second. They're not done yet, folks. Leonard Vela comes to the plate. He had a single in his last at bat. Lankhorst at second. Migliore on first. Migliore comes in, gets his job done. As the coach comes out for the Flamingos.
And Nobel Marquez, playing coach.
And he says, you know what? You're almost there. So here's some interesting things. I know you're going to love this.
Okay.
Angela, I did a little research on flamingos. Did you know flamingos, their nests are made of mud?
They what?
They're made of mud.
Oh, yeah?
The nests are made of mud. As we, I come prepared, Angela, as we wait for these pauses. They get their pink color from their food. They are what they eat.
Pink.
Apparently. Okay, so it's like from the microscopic algae that
And they always
brine
stand
shrimp.
on one leg only.
This-
I know that
See,
one.
that was the easy stuff, Angela. I come with the hard stuff. Okay, back to the game. Oh, count.
Leonard
Two
Vella
out.
is here.
That's right. Conference on the Mount is done. Time filling has paused.
And Jordan Bradley's still on the mound.
John Bradley's still on the mound. He lives to see another batter. Steps off 1-0 is the count. 2 out, 3-1 the score. Bottom of the fifth. That's called a strike. Big lead out there. Second base. Oh, and it hits him. That was lost. That clearly was a pitch not intentional at all. You could see it. An accident on its way home. So the bases are loaded. As that is a hit batter. Leonard Veller is on first. Hit by pitch. That puts Migliore at second and Langhorst at third. And a big, big moment for Eddie Stummel in this game.
With 2 outs, which is...
With 2 outs, certainly. But if you're going to break things open, this would be the time. Big moment in the game. Delivery. Called a strike. That's been a strike all day. Oh, 1 is the count. Fans want some more. And a swing and a foul back. So Stummel finds himself in a hole early on in this at-bat, 0-2. .353 hitter on the season, doing very well. 4 RBIs, looking to add to that total. As Jordan Bradley looks to his catcher. Asks for a repeat of the signs. Time called by Stummel. Fans hungry for both burgers and runs here at this game. Jordan, quick delivery. That's high. Looking to waste one there. Get him to chase. We'll see if this is Bradley's last batter if he can't get Stummel out. And a single right up the middle by Stummel. 1 run scores. Another one comes around to throw home. Nothing happening. He scores. Eddie Stummel, a 2 RBI single, comes in at a key moment in today's game to make the score 5-1.
Nice hit here. Nice hitting.
Beautiful timing. Beautiful hit. And that turns the order over to Eric Brank. That's why the fans love him. So that'll put Vella at third base and Stummel's at first. And as I suspected, we will have likely a pitching change. Could tell Bradley Jordan was getting tired in those last few batters. And with this pitching change, we will figure out who's coming in, what's happening, and all of those good things. And we'll be right back here on CapsTV. The score is 5-1. DeViva. And he replaces Jordan Bradley. At the plate is Eric Brank. At first base is Eddie Stummel. And at third is Migliore.
No, that's Vela,
Vela,
right?
sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies, yes. Yeah, Migliore came around to score. Forgot to color one of those boxes in. All right. Vela on third. Frank has had a double today. He's 2 for 3, actually. Batting .324. That pitch is high and outside. Some confusion. Bradley left the game, then went into center, then was told to leave. This was while we were off the air. Try and figure out who's playing where as we go along. It's been one of those days with the lineup. 2 on the count. Runners on the corner, still 2 out. Bit of a longer bottom of the 5th. Long pitching change. And that's also outside. It's missing on that outside corner. Since came into the game. Fonteviva has been. Love saying that. Valentina Fonteviva.
Yeah, sounds pretty Italian.
Mm-hmm. Stummel at first. Looks like a football player ready to go. That's American football, I suppose. Got that low crouch. Fonteviva digs in. Fans they're hungry for another run. 5's not enough. They want more. There goes Stummel. Foul back. Runner's going on that full count anyway. 2 out in this inning. Brank looking very cool, calm, and collected in this at-bat. Don't think he gets flustered easy. Seasoned veteran. Three-two delivery. Big pop-up. Center fielder comes in for it. Center fielder or left, who's going to get it? Center fielder eventually does, and that will end the inning, but not before. Bonn scores a couple more to make it 5-1. We'll be back here on CapsTV.
Und jetzt bekomme ich hier gerade einen Zettel reingereicht. Wir suchen Helfer für den Champions Cup im Juni. Wer also Zeit und Lust hat, der Champions Cup startet nach dem Pfingstwochenende. Geht die ganze Woche. Und wir suchen noch dringend Freiwillige, die uns hier unterstützen können. Wer Lust hat und heute schon weiß, dass er im Juni gerne helfen möchte, kann sich am Helferstand melden und sich bei der Geschäftsführerin Kathi Bendler erklären lassen, wann und wen und was wir brauchen. Dafür schon mal herzlichen Dank. Und jetzt gibt es hier Wechsel bei den Bonn Capitals. Unser Starter Zach Dodson nicht mehr im Spiel. Applaus für Zach Dodson. Und dafür haben wir auf dem Mountain, den wir lange nicht mehr gesehen haben, mit der Rücknummer 9, Sascha Koch. Lange verletzt und endlich wieder da. Der Mann mit der Nummer 9. Im Feld alles behalten. Ricardo Migliore jetzt im Left Field. Gerade ja schon am Schlag. Jetzt auch im Feld.
Hey, welcome back to Bonn, where the score is 5-1. Capitals over the Flamingos. And on the mound right now, we have the return of Sascha Koch, who has been out because of an injury. He's been in rehab. He had an injury in September, and he is just coming back now, and he got a very warm reception from the fans. And it's a big advantage, of course, for the Capitals to have him back, Angela.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what we were hoping for, that he comes back in time for the Champions Cup, and of course for the main part of the season. And so he will just start now for 1 or 2 innings today, and then a slow start, not forcing things. But it's good to see him back on the mound.
Absolutely, and following up on Dotson's day today, who had a very strong game as well. So nice to see Sasha back, of course. So the count, he's already got 0-2 count on the batter. The batter is Tim Wagner. Wagner's 0-2 today. One-two delivery. Swing and a miss. Sasha arrives on the scene and arrives his presence with an exclamation mark. One away. Just get caught back up on the scoring if you are just joining us today. In the first, Daniel M. Hunt hit a sacrifice fly to center on the first pitch, and Eric Brank scored. In the second, Veller hit a sacrifice fly. Recchi scored. That pitch comes in for a strike. In the fourth, Jeffrey Arndt for the Flamingos hit a sacrifice fly to right. Akuzi scored. Back in the fifth, for Bonn, Danny Lancourt singled on a 1-0 count, scoring Daniel M. Hunt. And then, as we just saw, in the bottom of the fifth, Eddie Stummel singled on a 1-2 count. Danny Lancourt scored. Ricardo Migliori scored. And Veller went to third. So that's your scoring update for today. That pitch comes in for a strike. 1-2. Fans fired up to see Sasha back on the mound. Been a very strong presence for Bonn over the years.
Yeah, he's the regular. He's all the time the regular starter for the first game. And
Stu struck out now already, so he's 2, strikes out 2.
Here you can see why he's normally our starter. So.
Absolutely.
And of course, they have to see how fast his arm gets tired, not being in the playing mode for all the time, So.
Exactly. This will bring up the batter, who is the pitcher, Fontaviva Valentino. Sasha fires it in outside. We haven't seen Sasha in a while. You forgot the speed he's got on some of those pitches. Great velocity.
This is Atskui. This is
Atskui,
not
sorry. Yes. Lineup, fun. Let's just leave it there. If you just joined, there's been some lineup juggling. We'll put it that way.
Yep.
That's the nicest way to put it. Kuzi takes a strike. 2-1. As a girls' team warms up in the field to the left of us. There was a game happening to the... Actually, there still is a game to our right. So almost all fields here in Bonn are being used today. Hits the batter. That can't feel good. Or at least it... the umpire's saying it came off the bat. So it sounded like it hit a piece of wood. And it did, says the umpire. So 2-2 is the count. 2 out. 5-1 the score on the bottom of the sixth, or top of the sixth. Baseball everywhere here today. The month of May. Very nice for baseball to come back. That's in the dirt. 3-2 now. Brings it to a full count. You can tell Sasha's hungry for that third strikeout. So now, yeah. Now they say it's Rivera at the plate, Angela. So this is the third time the batter has changed. Look, what we know is that there's 2 out and the count's full. Sasha's on the hill. And he strikes him out. The umpire late call on that. He said he went around or that caught the corner, and it did.
So 3 strikeouts for Sasha on his comeback.
Very nicely done as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-1 the score.
Den Sponsorenambulanzdienst Versandservice Licht aus Enzinger, Robinson Physio Privatpraxis für Physiotherapie der DHL Bongas, Robinson Weltfit, der Co. und der Stadt Bonn für die Unterstützung des Bonner Baseball und Softballvereins.
For the Flamingos continues to be Valentina Fontaviva. And a single. Hey, did I not predict that?
Yeah, you did.
Into center
First
left.
pitch hit, so.
Wilson Leon as the leadoff hitter. Daniel Lamb Hunt to the plate. Daniel Lamb Hunt had a double in his last at-bat, a very nice looking double as well. He really got things going last inning. Bonn, a run in the first and a run in the second, and then 3 in the last inning in the 5th. We are in the bottom of the 6th now. 5-1 is the score. Bonn has 9 hits on the day. Flamingos have 2. Flamingos have 2 errors. Bonn has 1. 1-0 the count. Fontaviva looks in. Pitch over the head of Lamb Hunt. He just ducked down. It was apparent early on from the release that ball was coming in. Maybe even overhead level. Wasn't a lot of velocity on that one. As the smoke from the barbecue, really, it was making its way across the field, making everybody hungry. I think that's intentional. They must have a fan over there, Angela.
Of course.
Yeah, just to. It's all a ploy to sell more burgers.
So that fans are getting hungry and go to our booth and buy their burgers.
Exactly.
A nice crowd out again.
Very
so
nice.
Yeah,
Love
we
it.
have that over the whole season so far. We have a good crowd out here.
Mm-hmm. And that's a strike, 3-1. Fire has a bit of a delayed call. Nothing wrong with it, but it takes a just a fraction of a second longer than we're normally used to. Put some thought into it. And that's outside. That was clearly a ball, so he's on. First 2 are on for the Capitals. The fans smell not only burgers, but something cooking with respect to this. Hopefully some scores, some runs coming up. Lee at second, Lamb Hunt at first base. That'll bring up Daniel Sanchez. .385 average. Sanchez flew out to the right fielder in his last at bat and grounded out to the second baseman before that. Bats .417. This is a stat everybody wants to know. It's .417 against right-handed hitters. And that's what Fontaviva is.
So
Pitchers.
it's a good chance here for the Capitals.
And he
Here we
capitalizes
are.
on that. And as that single goes into center field, center fielder bobbles it. So around comes Wilson Lee. He will score to make it 6-1 Capitals. Lamb Hunt stays at second. I think he was thinking of going to third, but just in case that ball was cut. So a nice clutch hit by Sanchez. Gets an RBI on that one. So Lee came all the way from second to score. I think if the center fielder had come up with that one cleanly, he might have stayed, but he did not. That'll bring Vinny Aarons to the plate. He had a Big double in the third inning. Runners take their lead. Nobody out yet. 6-1. Bonn has scored a run here in the bottom of the sixth. Lots of fans enjoying the game. Wanting more. Big swing, but fouls it off. 0-2 is the count. The fans clap. And the delivery. Swing and a miss. He strikes out. Aarons goes down on strikes, bringing up Langhorst. Still runners on first and second. Langhorst had a single in his last at-bat. Came around to score in the fifth. Delivery. And that's outside. Looking back, the runners. That pitch comes in for a strike. This day in baseball history in 1946. Red Sox shortstop Johnny Pesky becomes first player in AL history to score 6 runs in one game as Boston beats the White Sox 14-10. You may remember the name Pesky. That's who the Pesky pole is named after at Fenway Park. Pitch. Outside. Throw down to first. Nothing happening. 1973 in this day in baseball. Cubs manager Whitey Lockman is ejected during a 12-inning 3-2 win over the Padres. Coach Ernie Banks fills in for the last few innings, technically becoming the Major League's first black manager. Didn't know that. It was interesting to find that. I was doing research for this.
Good.
Yeah, so those
I
are
didn't know it.
Those are your facts, baseball facts, anniversaries for today in addition to your Mother's Day. 1 out, 2 on. Pitch comes in for a strike. That looked a little outside and low to me, but umpire says no. 2-2 count. Bottom of 6, 6-1. Capitals over the Flamingos. 1 out. Baseball all around us today in 3 fields of 4. And who knows, maybe one behind us. We can't see that one. Pitch on the way, and he just got under that one. As that ball goes into center, center fielder grabs it. Tag from second for Daniel Lamb Hunt. He gets into third with the slide, but ball never makes it to him. Runners on the corners now with 2 out. That'll bring up Migliore, who walked and came around to score in his last at-bat. Remember, this that long at-bat in the last inning where he fouled off a number of pitches and eventually got that last ball. So 2 out, 2 on. Fontaviva sets and delivers. That comes in for a strike. Runners on the corner, delivery. That's a ball. 1-1. Migliore very patient at the plate, very good hitter. And pitches outside. 2-1 the count. Lamb Hunt at third base. He got to third, tagging up on that fly out by Lankhorst. Sanchez at first. And a hit into the gap, just over the shortstop's head. Is he going to get to it? He drops it. It was in his glove momentarily. 1 run scores. That's Lamb Hunt as Sanchez moves down to third. And Migliore is on first. So the shortstop is moving back on that play, was in his glove, and then bounced out.
Yeah, it was a long way for him.
It was a tough play. An error nonetheless, putting Migliore on first. With Lamb Hunt scoring, the score of this game is 7-1. Sanchez on third. Still runners on the corner then with 2 out. And Lanavella at the plate. Yeah, comes in low. So, Bradley Jordan pitched a fairly strong game up until the last inning. Fonteviva came in and has struggled a little bit more. Runners take their lead on the corners. 2-out delivery. And a bit of a check swing. That goes along the line, and the umpire calls that rightfully foul. It was foul and seemed to roll back into fair territory. But I'm a bit off line here from my lusty perch. Lusty. Lofty. Wow. One of those Sundays, Angela.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the game. Leonard Vella has a 1-1 count. 2 out. Two and one. Wind has not changed too much, still blowing straight out. Smoke blowing across our field of vision. Runners on the corner, delivery. That comes back in for a strike. I was going to say that was close, but I think it did catch the corner.
Yeah, these are the pitchers that he calls strikes all day long, so.
Come on, Angela, you got to be objective.
No, I'm objective. What I mean is, so it was a strike because he calls them strikes all day, so he's consistent.
Yes. It was a close one. That's a ball. That's 3-2. 2 out. Runners on the corner. Still. Fans, their hands are getting sore. That rhythmic clap as this at-bat continues. And he loses him on a walk. Bases are loaded now with 2 out.
Didn't we have that before for Eddie Stormer?
Indeed we did, and he came through with a single. We'll see if he does it again. And the fans, they remember. You'll hear it. There we go. As they introduce him. Migliore at second. Sanchez is already at third. And Vella first. And he stumbled at the plate. Boy, he came in big at his last at-bat. Bases loaded single. Drove in 2. This time, that's a ball. We were just talking about that corner and that.
No, what is more inside?
Yeah, that was a little more inside. I agree. Eddie Stummel, big at bat again. And that's a strike. So 1-1 is the count. 2 out. He can break the game wide open here with another one of those singles. Almost, I would say, putting the game out of reach. At least at the way the game's been going so far. Though nothing's ever certain in baseball, of course. And that's low. 2-1. Can't afford to walk him here. Speaking of seasoned veterans, a little bit earlier we were Stummel, fan favorite, been around for a number of years, 389 hitter this year. And a big hit to the shortstop. Shortstop grabs it, throws it on to third. For some reason, tags him, even though it's a forced play. And it ends the inning. So, 7-1 is the score. We head to the top of the 7th inning. We'll be right back on CapsTV. Flamingos, and we have a new pitcher for the Bonn Capitals. That is Dovydas Neverauskas. He pitched a bit yesterday, as that pitch is fouled behind us. He's got 8 strikeouts on the season, 4 walks. He's only pitched 4 innings, though.
Yeah, he pitches an inning occasionally, so to speak.
Former MLB pitcher.
4 years with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pirates could probably use him. Not having much of a season this year. Lucky to have him in Bonn. Swing and a miss. I mean, it doesn't break my heart they're not having a great year, but 1-2 is the count. Probably gets a lot of questions from his teammates about what it's like playing the bigs. And he comes in and strikes out first batter that he sees. That batter was Chongo Rivera. Number 25, Jeffrey Arndt, is at bat for the Flamingos, and he sort of waves at that one as it quickly goes by him. Not even close. Seven won the score. Bonn scored 2 in the bottom of the 6th. A bunt that is essentially a pop-out foul. The speed, the velocity of the pitch, and then with the contact. I think with the idea of the bunt is you're supposed to cushion the blow a bit. Of course, the expert that I am, you'd think I'd be playing today, but I am not for certain reasons, meanings of talent. But I know the concept behind bunting. Of course, you want to cushion that a bit. And that comes in low. I think it's a lost art bunting, which is why I complain about it so much when I see it here. I'm not sure it's taught properly anymore. Also, get off my lawn, and the wind is too cold. That's low. 3-1 is the count.
I have 2-2, so I'm not sure. He says 2-2. Yeah.
2-2 says the umpire. He's correcting that now on the field. Neverauskas delivers. And a big pop-up. Foul. Pittsburgh had some good teams, though, a number of years back. They've fallen on hard times lately, but must have been interesting pitching with the organization. We'll have to talk to him about that. Comes in low. I like him. He delivers quickly. Not a lot of time between pitches. Full count, now 1 out. 7-1 Bonn. And he goes to first base. I'll bring up Tova. Colette Tova. With a runner at first base. Angela, can I fit in a quick trivia question? This is a quick one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. With a runner on, 7-1 score. I think we're safe. Let's hold on for this pitch. That comes in for a strike. All right, what year was Major League Baseball formed? And this is you got 4 choices here. 1901, 1869, 1776, or 1492. As we see a fly ball into right field, giving Angela some time to think.
1869.
And he throws back to first to try and get him on the getting back, but he's fine. So 2 out in the inning. What was your answer?
1869.
1869 is the right answer, Angela.
Yes.
I knew you would get that one. I just had a feeling. I thought I'd trick you with 1492, but of course that was when Columbus arrived in Siberia.
1901 was.
It was
you
close.
Never know.
Yeah. Well, good job. I'm going to think of a harder question next week, or 2 weeks from now. So 2 out here, 7-1 the score, 0-1 is the count. Woo, shaving the inside corner there. Number 33 at the plate. It's Phillip Thomas. Check swing. Checks first base umpire. He went around, he said. 1-2. The umpiring's been very consistent today. I think we can safely say that.
Yeah.
Nice to see. Our umpires, of course, always do a very good job. Not an easy job, that's for sure, especially you're standing out there and when it gets warmer in those summer months and everybody's your best friend in the stands and sometimes in the broadcast booth. We have our own opinions sometimes. And they look like a check swing. And Nebraska's also, and then a late check with the first base umpire. He said he struck out. So they waited for the appeal, and indeed they confirmed it. So that's 3 out. He strikes out. 7-1 is the score here as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Welcome back to Bonn, where the score is 7-1 for the Capitals over the Flamingos, who I've just been informed are also known as the Birds, as the horror classic by Alfred Hitchcock What is not horrible is, of course, that score, 7-1. If you're a Capitals fan, perhaps different if you're one of the Birds fans. Eric Brink at the plate. Flew out to the center fielder in his last at-bat. And that's a strike. .316 average on the season, with today's game included. And a hit down to the shortstop, snags it on to first base, throws wide of the mark and pulls the first baseman off the bag, and Brink is in with a single. So you could tell the shortstop really had to hustle on that play, and it pulled the shortstop is Patrice Rodriguez, and he pulled him, made him really throw that quickly, and it pulled the first baseman off. So regardless, Bonn has a runner on, bringing up Wilson Lee, who singled in his last at-bat and came around to score. That's the second time Brank. That's the second time Brank has been on base due to a shortstop error today. Back in the first, he grounded out to the same player and also threw it wide. So, Wilson Lee at the plate to be followed by Lamb Hunt and Sanchez. Throw back. Brink casually steps back onto first. Big hit into center field. Goes back and back and back, and that is gone. Wilson Lee, 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th to make it 9-1 for the Capitals. That ball came off his bat and carried and carried. In almost the deepest part of the field for Wilson Lee. So there's the Wilson Lee that we remember. And 9-1 is the score. Daniel M. Hunt at the plate. Very, very nice hit out to center for Lee. M. Hunt's your DH today. $13 hits for Bonn. Flamingos have 2 today. 3 errors. Actually, that makes a difference in today's game. 2 runs came around to score because of those errors. 1 for Bonn. Bonn, 2 in the bottom of the 7th here, 2 in the bottom of the 6th, 3 in the bottom of the 5th, 1 each in the first and second.
Constant scoring.
Constant scoring, constant entertainment. Good times here in Bonn. It's ball 3. 3-0 count. Fontaviva struggling a bit in these last 2 innings. Jordan Bradley was the pitcher before him. He began the game. That comes in for a strike, 3-1.
He's consistent.
He is. And he walks Lamb Hunt. It's a bit of a delayed call there. Lamb Hunt had to look back and go, yes, yes, and down he goes. Runner on, nobody out. 9-1 the score. Sanchez at the plate. Sanchez had a single in his last at-bat. Vinny Arons follow him. And Lankhorst after that. So, a bit of a delay now as the umpires get together. I'm not sure what they're discussing here. Maybe placement, I suppose. indeed that looks to be the case. Their placement on the field. I think we're underway. 2:19 in the afternoon here in Bonn. I'll say it one more time. Happy Mother's Day. And a chop single into right field for Sanchez. Really casual about that. Islam Hunt goes to third.
Speeds up.
Absolutely. He's got wheels, goes down to third.
But the outfielder just took his time, you know, so.
Well, we've noticed that on a few plays. The Flamingos look like they're sort of walking through today's game. They're not. Their mind doesn't seem to be on the game so much as the coach saunters out of the dugout to talk to the umpire for the Flamingos. Puts his arm around the ump and says, "Not sure what's happening, but let me go out to the mound." And he takes his time as he goes out to the mound. Looks like we're either getting a pitching change or we're going to have a picnic.
Yeah, they do a picnic.
All right.
Sunday lunchtime picnic.
Indeed. He puts his arm around his young pitcher, Fontaviva. He says, "Look, don't worry about it." Still no sign if he's taking him in or out. He looks like he's staying in. No big hurry. Back to the dugout.
Yeah, Annabelle has all of the time of his life. No rush.
He enjoys this day very much. The sun, it's a great place to be. No hurry to go anywhere. Okay. Nobody out. Runners on the corner. 9-1 the score. Obviously, just trying to calm his pitcher down a bit, Fontaviva. And that's good strategy.
I mean, there's no out. If we score 2 more runs, the game is over.
Indeed. Pitch on the way, and a single, looks like, into left field. The left fielder wasn't sure if he's going to go for it or not. Gets between his legs, goes all the way to the wall. Lamb Hunt scores. Sanchez scores. C'est la vie. And that is the game for today. So, your final score here in Bonn is 11-1, and some very nice hitting today by the Capitals. It was a tight game up until, let's say, the 5th inning, really, when things started to fall apart for the Flamingos, where we saw some pitching that wasn't quite consistent. But needless to say, entertaining game. Very nice for this Mother's Day. As the Capitals give a hand to all the mothers and all the fans that are here today. Angela, any final thoughts on the game today?
No, I think it was a nice being out here. It was a quick game now, finally, because they scored at the end for the 10-run rule. It was not too exciting, but it was a constant hitting, constantly hitting game. And so we see each other here in 2 weeks, where we have 2 double games, game days within 4 days.
Excellent.
22nd and 26th. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. And all the fans here will have their coffee hour now.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Angela, and to Max and Fabian, who are also running the technical side of things as well. We will see you in 2 weeks. I'm Brent Kerrigan. Bye-bye.
Dein Sport, dein Team, überall live. Fußball, Eishockey, Basketball, alle Spiele live. Jetzt auf magentasport.de buchen.
Berliner Fans und dem Berliner Team eine gute Heimreise. Hoffentlich staufreie Fahrt zurück in die Hauptstadt. Kommt gut nach Hause und auch allen anderen Zuschauern sicheren und guten Heimweg. Einen schönen Restsonntag, schönen Muttertag. Macht's gut, tschüss zusammen. Wir sind raus.